Terminals! How did you let Asa get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Agitated dust. Renovations, I surmise. That elevator over there goes to the Supreme Arbiter's old office. I hope the technicians have kept it in working order. I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. The terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. You must finish reading through that terminal. The elevator's been summoned from below. Someone's coming up. Hurry!
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes... How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. My mentor isn't a turncoat. She must have... My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
That seems like a lot of work to go through just to flatten someone's head with one of those giant hammers.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. It's not obvious to me. Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough. You were indeed. If you thought your trail might be obfuscated by hiding amidst mercenaries, you were
Enough! This has been an unpleasant day and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless and accosting a higher-ranked arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. That question would have been easier prior to our traveling together. I've spared others at your behest, after all. I shall speak plainly. I would rather spare her, as her devotion to justice seems to match my own. But duty dictates I answer her accusations earnestly. As I have not done wrong, her accusations are slander, and therefore must be punished.
He should kill her before she kills him and call it justice? Not sure where you're...
There's no point in trying to bring your logic to bear. This is a decision I must make myself. I have been taught to uphold justice by any means necessary. The junior arbiter is wrongfully accusing me. Her accusations are grave enough to be answered with violence. But I understand why she is making them. And her perspective, though skewed, I don't like thinking thus. It toes the line of traitorism. But the alternative is the judgment of one...
what is this insanity? I would never imagine an arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his sense. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
He was simply doing his duty, just as you or I must every day. Killing him would have been wrong, even though attempting to arrest...
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to...
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice. And I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did. What you intend to do. Is this moral?
No. It's clear that you're trying to turn me against our lead.
Blast! I'd hoped we'd be able to... Junior Arbiter Mayhall, I accuse you of slandering a senior arbiter and threatening violence against his person. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
What? You went through the trouble to stay my hand, yet you still seek to judge me? Then you shall meet my judgment after all.
Freeze Ether!
My injuries are not...
you with something?
To battle!
I despise asking for aid, and yet I...
Does it?
Stay your... Close me! My injuries are nothing! You have my thanks and my...
Dagmar. The... Say.
On what target?
Those fools! But the only explanation is that they were lackeys of the consul. Why else would they engage someone such as myself without expecting reprisal? Then they should have reported me to their superiors rather than attempting to I shall continue to answer slights of this nature through violence. But hopefully, I shall not need to... reminded me just a little of myself. But Junior Arbiter,
Oh, glory to the Protector.
I'd even venture to cover. Do you know about what makes an Arbiter? You believe I hold deer into the mud. Did him when we...
That seems odd. I am
To battle! You must keep your blood within, Captain!
I'm alive. Who needs to do?
Prosecuting! Taking punitive action!
I suppose that's that. I had hoped that altercation could be solved without bloodshed.
You need to learn to take pride in your work, Tristan. There's no shame in doing what needs to be done.
This was an unusual situation. You're right. I did what I could in the moment. And ultimately, executing all this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Agreed. I'm not sure of his whereabouts since last we encountered him. I'll send him a message.
Even get my dead charges spur me. No, hold.
Seems the Consul is not devoted to the idea of training future arbiters.
I wish I could say I were surprised.
Form up! They're closing in!
I shall reduce them to a slurry!
Our mix!
Your vitals look grim!
Ah, you're still alive. Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. Well, I'm waiting to hear your ineffectual arguments as to why you should be spared. And then I'll kill you. You can start by telling me why. Why'd you do it, and why me?
Why? I'm a loyal subject to the True Protectorate. What other reason is there? When the Consul tasked me to help save the colony, I did not even think to ask why. And you were an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside. But then you went berserk. I never could have imagined how you'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people. Which wrong people didn't she kill? We were supposed to work through intimidation and the perceived. Sure, maybe kill some subjects, those that could possibly become threats to the Protectorate.
but not the dozens she slaughtered. For Matriarch's sake, she was killing vigilants. And then she started asking questions that would have led to her discovering the truth. She had to die before the Consul decided to cut the link between Azza, him, and the Dawn. Me.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. As I told you before, there's only death for those who would betray the cult.
She's dead.
Not quite. Our enthusiasm got the better of us. She should have suffered more. It was too quick a death for one who betrayed not only me, but the whole— Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. I can send out a general message from here, informing the cells that the previous Exalted Leader has betrayed us and has been dealt with, and that I am now in charge. I suspect some will simply jump into the closest rift. And to be perfectly candid, I'm hoping there are more than a few that refuse to acknowledge their new— Enough to keep my knife skills up at least.
It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me.
Hello, Worlders. I'm going to quickly leave a silly comment for the algorithm and look at this poster here. Alright? You have to wandering around this building. Leave a silly comment for the algorithm and don't subscribe to me. I've been wandering around this building for quite some time. This is where I am on the map. I'm on the map. I'm in this building. Alright? You have to look at this poster here. Examine the poster. Okay? That's a must. You have to do it. Or the questions will... still say they're wrong. But anyways, just retrace my steps here to get into that room. It's just in the back. Another thing that you in the back, get into that room, it's just retrace wrong. But anyways, It's just retrace my steps here to get into that room. It's just in the back. Another thing that you have to look at is this thing right here. Examine this book. Okay, and I wouldn't be surprised there's one more thing I'm supposed to examine, but I haven't found it yet. Let's just go to the questions right now and start answering them. So let's do the knowledge evaluation. I'm ready to begin. 115 years old is the first one. Okay, so what happened is I think this question wasn't here last time when I was trying to fill this out. So that's why you have to go through and find certain objects in order to get there. So there we go. That's the question. All right, so I'm just going to start guessing. Let's just pick this one, objects in order to get.
Our commander hangs from a thread!
Get there. So there we go. That's the question. All right, so I'm just going to start guessing. Let's just pick this one right here. Okay, looks like that was the right answer. All right, another question. Who's in charge of religious experiments? All right, so we're going to try the Department of Disbelief this time. All right, correct. Another question. Question 5. All right, we're going to try the first answer first. And that looks like that was it. All right, so now we're done. And we're going to exit. All right, so looks like it's open. We can get inside and get all the goodies in. Another question. Who's in charge of start guessing? Let's just find certain objects in order to fill this out. So that's why the question wasn't here last time when I was trying to fill this out. So that's why you have to go through and find certain objects in order to get there. So there we go. That's the question. All right, so I'm just going to start guessing. Let's just pick this one right here. Okay, looks like that was the right answer. All right, another question. Who's in charge of speculative religious experiments? All right, so we're going to try the Department of Disbelief this time. All right, correct. Another question. Question 5. All right, we're going to try the first answer first. And that...
Will be free of these impurities.